Alton Towers have just confirmed that 3 semi-beloved rides at the park will be getting removed in 2025. And I can't say that I'm surprised by any of these, because it feels like we've been waiting for all of these to happen, at least eventually. Either way, today we are going to discuss those rides that are leaving the park, talk about why they might have chosen to do this and why they haven't chosen Rita to leave instead, and also of course touch on what could replace them in the future, because you know, here on this YouTube channel, we love a good bit of speculation. So yeah, be sure to watch till the end so you don't miss anything, and be sure to subscribe if you aren't already too. We're on the run to 100,000 subscribers now, so if you want to help towards that goal, it'd be greatly appreciated. The Alton Towers Resort, of course, closed back at the start of November for the closed season. And since the Phalanx Expo explosive finale, where they said it was going to be even more explosive on the last night and it wasn't, maybe the whole park would have just gone. We've only seen a few things come out of the park since, like the old Toxicator, Project Ocean update showing the ride structure going in and stuff, but you can see all of that in my previous video, linked in top right. But we got to December and all was still calm within the theme park industry, and especially Alton Towers. Nothing seemed to be happening, and then December 2nd hit at approximately 4 PM, where they released a blog post detailing some winter updates, including the de-arrival of some semi-beloved rides at the park. And yet, the 2nd of December this happened, so I'm pretty late. My apologies. Better late than never, though. With, of course, it being a winter update, they have started it off basically saying how unforgettable 2024 has been, with the return of Nemesis Reborn, the launch of Compound and Amigos in the Afterlife. That second one is very important in like 2 minutes. Some VIP experiences, the return of Hex, eventually, celebrating 10 years at CBeebies Land, and of course Bluey arriving as well. Maybe one of the best things to happen of all time. But they follow this up with not the best thing of all time, where they actually talk about the whole reason they are making this winter update. Because as they celebrate the season's conclusion, the Alton Towers Resort is looking to the future to announce some changes to its rides and attractions lineup. A moment of silence for our fallen rides and attractions. They haven't actually said what they are yet. How can we have a moment of silence? So let's get into it, shall we? Reaching the end of its technical life, the resort will bid farewell to its current oldest ride, the Blade, with it being retired after 44 years of operation. Of course, if you don't know, the Blade is the swinging pirate ship in Forbidden Valley, so that means as much as we are gaining a flat ride in Forbidden Valley, and we've had that construction wall up, and finally it's going, Forbidden Valley will feel complete. No, they're going to have another hole there. That is probably the most beloved one on this list, so let's keep reading before we actually talk about it properly. Originally joining the resort alongside the Retro Squad, Flavios' fabulous Fandango will also be retired from the ride lineup as we say goodbye to 2024. No! Maybe the Blade wasn't the most beloved. Flavios' fabulous Fandango is the twister or sizzler thing that was in David Walliams' world in the corner that very much looked temporary, and that was put in for extra capacity, and they did theme it up pretty decently for a Retro Squad ride, but it was strange still having it there. So yeah, that's gone as well. And there's one final ride they're removing too. Technically a ride, because it's technically also a walkthrough. I'll explain. In July 2024, the Alton Towers Dungeons closed to guests and was reimagined to create a brand new Scarefest attraction, Amigos in the Afterlife. Following the investment into the space to bring more spooktacular fun to families during the event, we can confirm the Alton Towers Dungeons will not return in 2025. So the reason I say it's a ride is because as much as it's a walkthrough, there is that boat ride in there. I'm taking that. So there you go, the Blade, the Dungeons, and of course, Flavios' fabulous Fandango. All 3 are being completely removed from the park, and it's not a great thing to announce all at once. I think back in July when they said the Dungeons was going to close for this year, they probably should have said that we're not opening it next year either, and then maybe towards the end of the season said that Blade's closing, and maybe just span them out a little bit. Flavios could have just gone. I don't think anyone would have cared, except for me. But I do think they did shoot themselves in the foot a little bit, announcing it all together, because it's just one big blow at once. But like I said, did we see these removals coming? Definitely. As they said, the Blade is clearly coming to the end of its life. It's been operating for 44 years, as if it was going to stand any longer. Unless this was Blackpool Pleasure Beach, where they've got rides that are over 100 years old and are rough as hell, they still choose to run them for some goddamn reason. But a normal span for something like that is around 40 odd years, so I'm not surprised they're getting rid of the blade. Flavios wasn't supposed to be there for as long as it's been, so again, not surprised about that. And the dungeons, as said, already closed, and sort of they hinted that it was going to go anyway, so I'm not surprised by that either. Another big pointer is it a big deal, the fact that these 3 rides are closing? The 3 rides themselves, not really, but the impact that will have on the rest of the park, most certainly. Because just think of it, the Blade is one of the only family flat rides, or one of the only flat rides, that is permanent at the park. And Flavios is the same, but temporary. So that's still a loss. And the dungeons, as much as that is an upcharge, still has a high capacity ride inside. And that is the main thing here. Capacity. Why did I sound like that? Those queues and amount of people will now be spreading across the rest of the resort on less rides, so it will just in turn get slightly busier. Now obviously, with the addition of Toxicator, we should be at least thankful the fact we're getting 1 flat ride at least. That's a start, I guess. But it is strange how we've taken that 1 step forward with the brand new flat ride, and then we're taking 2 steps back with the loss of the other 2. I know I keep not talking about the dungeons, but I feel like the dungeons wasn't really getting many people coming in anyway. If it wasn't an upcharge originally, I'd probably consider it more. But what will replace them in the coming years? Something's got to go in their place, hasn't it? Well, in my opinion, the Alton Towers dungeons will remain as Amigos in the Afterlife for the next year, and then from there, along with Flavios, it will be either removed or changed to do with whatever Project Horizon is going to be in that back corner of the park. If it's still happening. I don't know industry things. I'm not smart and also don't have insider knowledge. As for the most major removal, in my opinion, the Blade. What could go there? Of course, as I said, we're going to now see another hole and pit in Forbidden Valley. For God's sake. So in all honesty, I would expect to see some construction walls go up around there and maybe another flat ride go there in 2026. I'm really hoping that whole rumoured Huss 3 flat ride deal, including the top spin if that's the case, does actually exist, because we would like to see at least more than 1 new flat ride at Alton Towers. I mean, a lot more than 3 would be nice. But yeah, something does need to go in that spot as soon as possible. I don't know, maybe they're going to start the Cross Valley Coaster station platform and work their way from there. That's what's happening, guys. I actually do have insider sources, and it is me. But yeah, hopefully that's the end of the removal saga for Alton Towers next year, and that's all we see, because if there's any more, I think I might cry. And as much as they didn't tell us about these rides being removed before the end of the season, at least it wasn't a major coaster that's potentially the tallest and fastest in the world that they didn't tell us about. I don't know if this video felt a bit different to normal, but I am slightly ill, so it might have been why. And if not, then I've just turned into a more chill guy. No. That was cringe. Leave your thoughts on all this down below and make sure you subscribe to the channel. And 1,000 likes and I'll make, I don't know, a roller coaster on the plot of Blade. Oh God.